Are you constantly wondering where your money disappears every month, even though you earn a decent income? You're not alone. What if I told you that with just one simple rule, you could take control of your finances, stop living paycheck to paycheck, and finally start building wealth? No spreadsheets, no complicated formulas? Let me introduce you to the 50-30-20 rule, a budgeting framework that has helped millions take back control over their money, and today, I'm going to explain how you can use it with real-life examples. Whether you live in the UK, US, Canada, Europe or Australia, this is universally practical, and in today's uncertain economy, it's more important than ever. What is the 50-30-20 rule? Let's break it down simply. The 50-30-20 rule is a budgeting method that divides your after-tax income into three categories: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings and debt repayment. That's it. Simple, powerful, and best of all, flexible to your lifestyle. This rule was popularized by US Senator Elizabeth Warren in her book, All Your Worth, and it's been used by everyone from college students to high-income earners to structure their spending, reduce anxiety, and build financial resilience. Now let's go deeper, because knowing the rule is one thing, but understanding how to apply it in real life is what changes your financial future. Category 1, 50% for needs. This is the foundation of your budget. Needs are your non-negotiables, the things you must pay for to survive and function. Here's what typically falls into this category: rent or mortgage, utilities, electricity, gas, water, basic groceries, not takeaway or treats, we'll get to that, transportation, fuel, public transit, car insurance, health insurance or medical expenses, minimum debt repayments, childcare or school fees, if essential. Here's a real-world example. Let's say you live in Sydney or London or New York, and your take-home pay is $4,000 per month. According to the 50-30-20 rule, up to $2,000, 50%, should go toward your needs. This doesn't mean you must spend the full 50%. In fact, if you can reduce this category, you give yourself more room for saving and flexibility. Mistake people make? They include lifestyle upgrades here, like upgrading to a luxury apartment or adding premium cable packages. Those are wants, not needs. If you're living in an expensive city, consider flat sharing, moving further out, or cutting transportation costs by biking or using public transit. Needs are about survival, not status. Category 2, 30% for wants. Now here's the fun part, and also the most dangerous if left unchecked. Wants are the things you enjoy, but don't need to live. This includes dining out, subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, Prime, travel and vacations, shopping for clothes beyond essentials, entertainment, new gadgets, gym memberships, yes, unless medically necessary. This is where most people overspend without realizing it. It's easy to justify little expenses, $5 lattes, $10 subscriptions, weekend takeout, but they add up fast. Here's a practical example. Let's go back to that $4,000 per month net income. 30% equals $1,200 per month for your wants. That means you can dine out, travel, buy that tech gadget, and go to concerts, without guilt, as long as you stay within this boundary. It's about conscious spending, not deprivation. The goal isn't to cut joy. It's to cut mindless spending. So ask yourself with each purchase, is this a want or a need? Will this improve my life, or just fill a momentary void? That simple reflection can save you thousands every year. Category 3, 20% for savings and debt repayment. This is the wealth building category. And it's non-negotiable if you want to escape financial anxiety and build a future. This 20% goes toward emergency fund, investing, index funds, ETFs, retirement accounts, extra payments on credit cards or student loans, saving for big goals, home down payment, car, education. Let's be clear, minimum debt repayments go under needs, but extra payments go here. This is where your financial power compounds. Here's a real example. you take home $4,000. 20% equals $800 per month. Here's how you could break that down. $300 into emergency savings. $300 into index fund investing, through something like Vanguard or BlackRock. $200 as an extra payment on high-interest debt. Boom. That's long-term freedom right there. You're not just surviving month to month anymore. You're building your escape plan. And if you're thinking, I can't afford to save, remember, saving isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. Even if you can only start with 5%, build the habit. You can scale it up over time. Why the 50-30-20ths rule works worldwide. One of the best things about this rule. It works no matter where you live. Whether you're in Toronto, Berlin, Manchester, or Melbourne, the principle stays the same. Prioritize survival. Enjoy life within limits. Build for the future. It's not about being frugal, it's about being intentional. Plus, it doesn't require any complicated spreadsheets, financial degrees, or hours of tracking. You could literally sketch it on a napkin and stick it on your fridge. That's the beauty. Real-life transformation stories. Let me tell you what happens when people start using this system. A nurse in London went from overdrafting her bank account every month to saving £5,000 in a year, just by cutting her wants in half and using Monzo to track her budget. A freelancer in Toronto finally paid off $12,000 in credit card debt in 18 months, simply by sticking to her 20% rule and throwing every extra dollar into debt. A young couple in San Diego used the 50-30-20ths method to save for a home, and bought their first property without borrowing from parents or draining their retirement accounts. This works. Not because it's flashy, but because it's sustainable. When the 50-30-20ths rule doesn't work, and how to adapt. Now let's be honest, no rule is perfect for everyone. If you live in an extremely high cost of living area, like San Francisco or London, your needs may eat up more than 50%. That's okay. The point is not to follow it rigidly, but to use it as a guiding framework. Here's how you can adapt. Needs take 60%. Then shrink your wants to 20%. Can only save 10% right now? Make that your starting point and increase gradually. Budgeting is like fitness. If it's too restrictive, you'll quit. But if it fits your life, you'll stick with it and see results. Tools to make this easier. Want to make the 50-30-20ths rule effortless? Here are some tools used by people in your country. US, Canada. Mint, YNAB. You need a budget, Empower. UK. Emma, Snoop, Monzo. Australia. Pocketbook, WeMoney. Europe. Revolut, N26. These apps can automatically track your spending, categorize expenses, and show you how you're doing, without manual effort. Set alerts, automate your savings, and check in once a week. Budgeting doesn't have to feel like a chore anymore. Common myths about budgeting. Let's bust some myths that might be holding you back. Myth 1. Budgeting is restrictive. Truth. Budgeting gives you freedom to spend without guilt and plan without fear. Myth 2. I don't make enough to budget. Truth. Budgeting is especially important if your income is low, because you have less margin for error. Myth 3. I'll budget once I earn more. Truth. If you can't manage $2,000, you won't magically manage $10,000. Habits greater than income. Final thoughts. This is your foundation. The 50-30-20ths rule isn't just about budgeting. It's about clarity, control, confidence. It's the first step to getting out of debt, building an emergency fund, investing for financial freedom, saying yes to life without drowning in financial stress. And here's the best part. Once you master this, you graduate to more advanced strategies, like tax optimization, passive income, and smart investing. But it all starts here. So try it for the next 30 days. Track your income. Categorize your spending. Make adjustments. And then? Watch how your money starts working for you, instead of vanishing every month. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more actionable, international personal finance content. And drop a comment below. Which category is the hardest for you? Needs, wants, or saving? You're not alone, but you are in control. This is Alpha Finance, and I'll see you in the next one.